Good morning, everyone. It is the 2nd of January 2022. Happy New Year. Oh God, this looks awful. I'm just going to ignore that. Let's just ignore it. It doesn't exist. Today I am going to the theatre to see Bedknobs and Broomsticks, the musical. Now, I know it's a movie, but I haven't watched this movie since I was like 7 or 8. So I don't remember much about it. And I honestly cannot wait. But right now, I've just woken up, so I'm still sat in my PJs. But I am watching Cameron Mackintosh 50 Years or something that was on like Sky Arts at one point. So I'm catching up with some of the things I missed over Christmas, while also messaging my friends. I will see you all in a bit. Right, I have just had my hair washed and I am just about to dry it, and my dad is downstairs playing Six, the musical, and I really want to go and listen and dance to it right now, but I look like this, so maybe not. But I'm going to dry my hair and then I'm off to, I've got my grandma coming around just for a little while, so I'm off to see her and my uncle and my cousin, say hi to them. And then I'm off to do a get ready with me on my Instagram. So you will see a time-lapse version of the get ready with me in a bit. Right, that is my hair washed. Feel a lot more refreshed now. We're taking back control. You need to know I don't need your love. No, ha 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 ha. Right, we are at the theatre now. We've driven here, I've done my hair. I didn't take any, I didn't save the live where I did my makeup, but this is the makeup I've got. It's very cute, very nice. And yeah, we're just sat in the bar area in the theatre, waiting to go into it, and then you'll get some nice videos of all the views that we're going to get. And then I also bought a bunch of stuff as well, so there'll be like what I got maybe at the end of the video if I can fit it in time. Yeah. So I forgot to finish filming. It is now like 2-3 days later. The show was absolutely incredible. The guy that was playing Charlie had an absolutely amazing voice. I'm still trying to figure out how they got the broomstick and the bed through solid objects, because it wasn't wires. Because you'd be able to see the wires in certain lighting, and there was no wires. The backdrop was black, meaning it had one of those lifty mover thingies. But if that was the case, the lifter went through like a solid thing. It went through something solid. I love the show, but my God, has that one thing perplexed me the entire time. They did a bunch of magic tricks. It was amazing. Sorry, I had something on my camera. I really enjoyed the show. I haven't seen the movie since I was like 7 or 8, so I wasn't expecting the ending. The ending, I almost sobbed at. My God, was I not expecting that for the ending. It was intense, man. The opening scene, it was kind of like an overture, but people were acting over the top of it. No speaking whatsoever, no sounds, just the music and some like radio clips to show how these 3 kids went from their home to their home being destroyed, to being taken somewhere, getting gas masks, to being evacuated, to getting into the country. It was unbelievable. The emotion during the "this can't be happening, it's not real" scene, where like the twist is revealed. The guy, Connor, my God, is he a brilliant actor? Amazing voice, absolutely incredible. Same goes for the entire cast, actually. Everyone was absolutely incredible. And we had an understudy on stage as well, and she was unbelievable. She was understudying 2 roles that day. She's technically was meant to be understudying 1 role because those 2 roles don't actually link, but there were 2 people off and she understudies for both those roles. And because those roles never meet, she was able to understudy for both. So that's a lot of quick changes, and my God, was she incredible at it. So shout out goes to her. Also, one of my friends was in the show, and I didn't realise till they told me. And she was absolutely incredible. But when I get back from college, because that's where I'm about to go, I will give you all a proper review. I'll go through my programme, I'll give you a haul of what I bought. And yeah, so I will see you after college when I look less tired and more energetic and hyper. Yeah. So the first thing we have is this lovely Bedknobs and Broomsticks. You can kind of see the reflection, woohoo, in there. This is the lovely Bedknobs and Broomsticks magnet. It is quite a thick magnet, very well made, lovely logo on it. And it is just, it's very nice, very well made, very good material. But you can see, there's bits of it there, you can actually see the paper. Oh, you can see the reflection again. You can actually see the paper that the logo's in, because it's not actually in the magnet, it's just like a bit of, you know, and then the paper of it on, and then the magnet stuck on the back. The magnet. We then have the Bedknobs and Broomsticks pin. It's got the Mickey logo on the back to begin with, because obviously Bedknobs and Broomsticks is Disney. But it's got the Mickey logo on the back. You then have the card that actually says the name of the show on, and then the pin itself does say Bedknobs and, I'm trying not to get the reflection in because obviously this is the paper that's covering it. It does have the Bedknobs and Broomsticks logo on it. I like collecting pins, so it's why I'm not like taking it out to try and show you or I'm wearing it, because I like to collect them. But this is the lovely pin that we've got, and it's really, really nice. We then have the I don't actually mind taking this out. Let me take this out of the packaging. We then have the Bedknobs and Broomsticks keyring. It's quite a big keyring. It's very good material. But it says Bedknobs and Broomsticks on a little hanging bit, and then on the back we've got the lovely star, a bit like the medallion that has the words written on it in the first place, which is a very important like part of the show, and I'll get into that in a second. And it says Triguna. Triguna, Macodes, Tricorum, Status D, which is something that they repeat a lot in the show. Again, I will give you a whole discussion about it. But it's a nice big key ring, very good material. It's really, really nice. It's meant to be like the medallion from the show, but it is so nice, but it is really, really big. There you go, Mole's nose. Shout out to Mole's there. The star of Astroth. Mole's nose. And then finally, I have 2 programmes. Oh, I just got a whiff of programmes. I love a new programme smell. They're so good. This one is just full of like pictures from the show taken, and this one is like your cast list, your song list, etc, etc, etc. So, let's start with this one. A good old picture. So obviously, lovely front cover. You then open it up and it's got the words again. So it's got my face now. But you've got the words again. Trachuna, Mycoides, Trichorum status D. And then the logo on this side. Nice big pictures throughout the entire... I feel like a teacher right now. Guys, everyone look at the picture book. I'm going to read you a nice story. But some really good pictures. Oh, that scene. I'll get into it, but that scene, it was so good. Anyway. But throughout the entire book is pictures, professional pictures from the show itself. Very nice, very good indeed. Woohoo. Big summer blowouts. And it's all full of just pictures and everything from the show. It is unbelievable. It's then got information like about Bedknobs and Broomsticks and like what it was inspired by. And that is also in the mini programme as well, just in more detail. And it's so good. But yes, that is the big programme. And then on the back it has like the main lyrics that they kept repeating in the show. And it's, oh my god, so good. Finally, mini programme. Again, front logo. It's obviously like a normal programme, this one. So you get a couple of shows that are coming up. You get adverts and everything. You've got West End Kids. That seems to be everywhere at the minute. But it looks very good. And then you've got all about like how it got from stage to screen and everything. And like all the history about Bedknobs and Broomsticks. And then it has all about the creatives going on to the like, this is your cast, these are your understudies, these are the production staff members, these are the people that were in the orchestra, these are your musical numbers, and then these are all your characters and who played who. And it was just amazing. Review time. This is why I also have these programmes out, and I wanted to show you the programmes first. Because if I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at the programmes to look for people's names or for certain people. How the hell did they get the bed and the broomstick through solid objects? I'm sorry. That was very aggressive of me. I'm still trying to figure this out. What I have figured out is it wasn't on wires. And the reason why it wasn't on wires, because this is a 4-poster bed. And they added wheels to it, so it made the bed, so they could move the bed on and off stage when they needed to. But that obviously makes the bed heavier. They then added lights on it, so when the bed is flying and moving around, the characters are illuminated, their faces are illuminated. Again, adding more weight to it, which meant they would have had to build an extra bit under the bottom that's like just a black box to hide the lighting in. Which again makes things heavier. They've then got to pile 5 actors onto that bed and then add a quite heavy prop onto the bed throughout most of the show. So it couldn't have been on wires because wires could not hold that much. Wires cannot hold that much. So it was on one of those lift things, because every time the bed or the broomstick was flying, it was a black background. It wasn't like a background of something. It was a black background. So it was on one of those lift things, which I was absolutely fine with. But then that begs the question. When the bed goes and the broomstick goes through the window or through the door, the black lift is I don't know what it looks like at the back, but at the front to hold things and carry things, it's a long, thin, metal, like arm kind of thing that you just pop under the bed or under the thing you want to lift, and it lifts you into the air. So, how did they get that long metal thing through the solid objects of the outlines of the doors and the windows? The windows had four things. The door had a big massive archway and a floor. So, my question, and the door frame and the window frame didn't have any like gaps in it, because trust me, I looked throughout the entire show. I went looking. I ignored the magic for a second and I went looking. Aladdin's magic carpet is on wires. They're always on wires in Aladdin magic carpet. This is a lift with a long, thin black metal bit. And how did this black metal bit get through the solid objects? I'm still trying to figure it out. Because there wasn't like a slot for it to slide through. They didn't like lift up something so that it could slide through. And there was a person that walked straight through where that solid object, that thin metal solid piece should be. The person literally walked straight through it. How did that person walk straight through it? Like, that doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. And I'm still trying to figure it out. Anyway, that's my mini rant over and done with. Now on to the actual review of the show. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I loved every second of it. I haven't seen the show since I was like 7 years old. I haven't seen the movie since I was 7. It's not one of my like all-time favourite Disney movies, but it's a good Disney movie. So I couldn't remember much about what actually happened in the show at all. Couldn't remember much about it. And so I was a little bit sceptical. I wanted to go because the trailer looked amazing, but I was a little bit sceptical about it. So let me start with Connor O'Hara. That man's voice is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. He had such a good voice. I was sat there and I was enjoying this opening number that I'll get to in a second. And when he started singing, my jaw just dropped. His voice was unbelievable. It was incredible. Like, oh my God. I couldn't talk about his voice for hours. It was that incredible. He played a really, really good Charlie. Sorry, I couldn't remember the character's name. He played a really good Charlie. And the character's meant to be 13. I thought he was 16, but that honestly didn't really matter because he still acted the way I was expecting the character to act. The overprotective older brother that didn't fully believe in magic but then started to believe in the magic. I really, really enjoyed his performance. His performance was amazing. Same with the other two children we had. The children are called Carrie and Paul. And we had, if I remember correctly, I think we had Poppy Houghton and Jasper Hawes. I think, don't fully quote me on that, but I think that's who we had on the date that we went. And they were just as incredible as Connor was. They were absolutely amazing. Those three people did not leave the stage the entire time. They like barely left the stage. They were on it the entire time, carrying the show and leading the show. So every now and then, this is from an actor's point of view who knows a lot about theatre, every now and then I caught Connor like doing a little check-up on them, being like, how are you guys? You doing good? Okay, cool. Let's carry on. But he never broke character. He always did it in like his older brother-esque role that he had. And the kids never broke character either. But they were just all incredible. The ensemble were amazing. I just want to quickly point out Rob Mage. I think I've pronounced his name wrong. But Rob Mage, he's on TikTok. He is unbelievably funny on TikTok. And then I was looking in the programme before it started. I was like, I follow him on TikTok. And then I watched it and he played Norton the Fish. And he played it so well. It was amazing. It was unbelievable. Anyway, Diane Pilkington and Charles Burton played Eglantine Price and Amelius Brown. Yes, sorry, Rob goes by they them pronouns. That is my fault completely. those two actors, back to Charles and Diane. Those two actors had so much on-stage chemistry. You could tell from like their first meeting they didn't really like each other that much. He was enthralled that she could actually do magic and his magic was working. He was just a street performer. She didn't like him that much. And then you got to see them slowly developing their chemistry over time. And it was absolutely amazing. It was unbelievable. I also want to give a quick shout out to Kayla Carter, who is one of my friends. I want to give a quick shout out to her because when she was on stage as ensemble, she always I always had my attention drawn to her. She was amazing. I didn't know she was in the show until the interval when my friend messaged me being like, my friend's in this. And then I was like, oh my god, it's who I thought it was. Well, not who I thought it was, but I was like, oh my god, my attention's always drawn to them. They're amazing. And we had an understudy on our stage as well, playing the Lion and Mrs. Hobday, I think it was Mrs. Hobday. If not, it was Mrs. Mason. It was one of those two. And she is called Sadie Jean Shirley. She was incredible. Absolutely incredible. I loved her. I loved the entire cast. Actually, they were all amazing. I really, really enjoyed the show. And now I'm going to quickly go through the songs. The prologue. The prologue is where, let me get the picture up. The prologue is where this picture comes from. It was amazing. Absolutely, unbelievably amazing. So instead of an overture, they had this prologue. No speaking at all. Nothing like that. Just the orchestra and then the actors on stage. And it brought a tear to my eye. I cry at shows anyway. But I don't normally cry until like something really like upsetting has happened, or it's like coming to the end of the show. That's when I normally cry, because that's normally where the climax of the show is. But this right away, this is set in World War II, by the way. This is during World War II and when they had evacuees and everything. And oh no, it was unbelievable the way they did it. They had the sounds of the planes, and then it was just this small little square of this bedroom, and then you had the sound of this like bomb going off. You had the sound of these planes flying over, and then the black outline lifted up, and then you had the sound of the bombs. And as the bombs went off, the ensemble came and took away bits of the housing, and it was just these 3 kids left alone, and you watched them being found by people in the army, getting their gas masks, getting told to watch out for the shadows. The enemy could be everywhere, just through like posters and everything. Then you watched them get on the train and travel to where they were meant to be, and it was done so much better than the way that I've explained it. I can't give it enough justice, but it literally made me cry. It was so emotional and so amazing. It made me cry. Anyway, that's that before I actually start crying again. Then all the songs were just amazing. They were all really catchy. I really enjoyed them. And then the song Negotiality came on. We've just seen Miss Price, Diane, fly on her broomstick for the first time. This first bit of kind of like magic you see in the show. We've just seen her fly, and we've just seen someone with a puppet pretending to be her, as like she's meant to be far away in the distance, and we've just seen her fall. And then it's the next day, and Connor sings this song, and this is not the first time you hear his voice. It's like the second or third time you hear Connor's voice now. And it was so good. It was absolutely incredible. I just liked the song anyway, and the song had a lot of reprises and got played a lot. And I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fact that the kids are meant to like be making up their own words during some of the songs. And they also did a lot of reprises of the Bedknobs spell, which is actually on the back of the book, so I can read it out. Tap 3 times, 1, 2, 3, have faith and trust unflinchingly. You can travel anywhere. A quarter turn to the right, hold on tight and prepare, then clearly say your destination and soon you'll be there. And it was just incredible, like all the time. And then I need to find the name. There we go. I was like, I need to find the name of the song. They had the song not in the middle of Act 1, but roughly like in between the beginning and middle of Act 1, in that really like grey area, called The Age of Not Believing, sung by Diane as Eglantine. And it was such a beautiful song and really resonated like with me. I was quite emotional when that song was on. I honestly felt very emotional, and like it was like she was talking to me rather than the character on stage. And I tried so hard not to cry, but it was such a good song. I loved it so much. And then in the middle of Act 1, you then meet Emilius Brown, etc., etc. And the story goes on, and then you get the final song, the actual final song of Act 1 is the Bedknobs spell, and it's the 4th time you've heard that song now. But the scene before you get that spell, there's a scene before it, and then there's also a like negotiality played again in it. And it's so funny. I don't know who played that bookseller. I can't find the name for the life of me. But he was so funny when they had to swap the Land of No Peepo book for the other half of the Magic Spell book to then actually need the No Peepo book back. To then like, oh no, we need all the spells out of that book. Well, all the spells are written in my notebook, but nobody wants to give their books away, so they're all there like holding it, very, very nervous. And then Charlie comes in and he's like, haha, well, if you take that book and you take that book and you can take that book, it'll all work. You know, it's negotiality. It was so good. It was so good. And it just made me laugh, that scene, and how funny it was. I couldn't stop laughing at that. Then Act 2, we had the lovely entrance, as always. They always have lovely entrances in musicals. And we get No Peepo Lagoon and the beautiful Briny Sea, which is the song a lot of people do know, which is the bobbing along, singing a song on the bottom of the beautiful briny sea. It's just a really good song, okay? It's just a really, really good song. And then you had this lovely, like, dance scene between Diane and Charles as Eglantine and Emilius. And they did a lot of Latin numbers that I really, really enjoyed. And I really like watching the Latin numbers anyway. I like watching Latin in ballroom because I used to do Latin. So I really enjoyed watching them do it and seeing them slowly fall in love. And then I had a quick glance over to where the 3 children were sitting, and that's where that was the first time I saw Connor, who was playing Charlie, check up on the 2 kids that were younger than him, like in character. And I know they literally just had an interval, but it's still a good thing to like do checkups and everything. And it was really, really it was really, really good to just see the to see Connor check up on the ones younger than him, because they don't like leave the stage at all, but like 2 times, I think, and those are only for brief moments. And then you have this scene where they have to try and get this like amulet, which looks a bit like this, off the lion's neck. So they do this entire thing where Eglantine is like, oh, because Emilius has been trying to get Eglantine to work with him as like magicians and everything. And so Eglantine's like, oh yeah, maybe if we just do this, if we just do that, if we just do the other. And so we get this scene where Eglantine's like, oh yeah, I'll definitely be your partner. Look, we can do all this magic. And they actually do live magic on the stage. And there's only one where they prove to you like how they can do that magic trick. But they do all these different like magic tricks on the stage, and it's quite interesting to watch, and I really enjoyed watching them. And it's just so nice. It was just so nice to just sit and watch, like, because I don't know much about magic, so it's just nice to sit and watch them do magic. But they mentioned this trick in Act 1 that they then reused in Act 2 to get the medallion. And they reused that trick, and it was really good to watch. And they were like, haha, yeah, let's go. And it was just a fun thing to just watch them do magic on the stage without like thinking or like really having a care in the world. And then you got this where they said the words and the magic happened, and then they had people like pretending to dance with clothes and making all these clothes look like it's alive. And they actually made the clothes look like they were alive. And they were like, I don't know how they did it, I'm not fully sure, but I think it was connected to the actors that came on the stage by like a string or something. But they were making things like move and look like there was an actual person there, but there wasn't. And it was really, really good. And then we have this entire scene where they see these people in like the army or something, or or what they're classing as the villains of the story. They see them coming and looming over these hills, and then they start freaking out. And it's like, oh yeah, well, Eglantine can use this spell now, and they can have the clothes and this suit of armour fight for them, rather than having people going to war and everything. And it was just amazing to see how they did that. And then linking it back to that opening scene, the prologue that I told you about, when the explosion happens, it's meant to be the 3 children, their parents die in that explosion and everything. So then Eglantine and I've got to put that down because that's have to start making a load of noise. Eglantine and Emilius get caught along with the children, and the children think that that Eglantine and Emilius are going to die, and they start freaking out, going, not again, not again, this isn't real, you're not real, you're not real. To then have Charlie yell, you're not real, and these like shadows of army men all like lean backwards, like kind of like a Michael Jackson lean. They lean backwards and then they disappear and run off stage. And the 2 younger kids are really, really confused, and so Charlie explains, this is just a figment of our imagination. We've made it all up. Like, this isn't actually real. And then they look at Emilius and Eglantine, and Emilius turns around and is like, so we're not real either. And it's like, no, you're not real. We've made you up. And then they slowly start to disappear, and they do it like a ghost effect. So they start walking off, and then they do just like disappear into thin air. It is so amazingly done. And it's so emotional and raw. And we get the repeat of the song that I said like really resonated with me, which is called The Age of Not Believing. We get a reprise of that song, and it's just really, really emotional. And they end up right back to where they were at the very beginning, like crowded round together. And then we get Emilius walking through the door being like, gosh, I'll never get used to hearing those planes flying overhead, blah, blah, blah. And then Eglantine turns up and is like, yeah, I'm here to collect the children. I said I was going to collect the children, so here I am. And then Amelius and Eglantine meet for the first time. And it's this, like, romantic connection, and the children start freaking out, being like, oh my god, they were actually real, but we, like, had imagined them with these magic powers that didn't exist. And then you got this lovely, beautiful epilogue in the end. And it was just a really nice ending to it all. And I really, really enjoyed the show. I really did. I wish I could go back and see the show because it was unbelievably amazing. Like, unbelievably amazing. I want to go and see the show again. But I don't actually know if it's coming anywhere near me, you know? So I can't do that. But that is the show. That is my review for the show. I highly recommend the show. Please go and watch it. It has such an amazing cast, some amazing songs, and I hope it gets to the West End and gets like a permanent home in the West End because it is that good. More people need to see it and it needs to be in the West End. But that is my haul and my review of the show. So yeah.